I thought the guy sitting next to me on my flight was just another quiet passenger, until he whispered something that made the entire trip feel strange. It was an early morning flight from Chicago to Seattle. I had barely slept the night before, so all I wanted to do was put on my headphones and relax for the 3-hour trip. The guy next to me looked normal. Mid-30s maybe, hoodie, baseball cap, and one of those neck pillows people bring on long flights. He didn't talk much while we were boarding, just nodded politely when I sat down. About 30 minutes after takeoff, the cabin lights dimmed and most people started settling in. That's when he suddenly leaned slightly toward me. "Hey," he said quietly, "this might sound weird, but have you noticed the man 3 rows ahead of us?" I looked up from my phone, confused. "What do you mean?" He nodded toward the front of the plane. "The one in the gray jacket. He's been staring back here for the last 20 minutes. I didn't want to be obvious, but curiosity got the better of me. I glanced up quickly. There was a man in a gray jacket, and the moment I looked, he turned his head away fast. "See?" the guy next to me whispered. I felt a small knot form in my stomach. Maybe casual, but about 5 minutes later, I noticed it again. The same man slowly turned around and looked directly down the aisle, straight at our row. This time he didn't look away right away. I shifted in my seat, suddenly very aware of how quiet the cabin had become. "Okay," I admitted softly. "That's a little creepy." The guy next to me nodded like he had been expecting that reaction. "Yeah," he said. "That's what I thought too." Then he said something that made the situation even stranger. Because before boarding, that same guy asked me if I was sitting next to you. My heart skipped a beat. "What?" I said. He leaned back in his seat and looked toward the front again. "I didn't think much of it at the time," he said calmly. And that's when I started wondering why the guy sitting next to me on my flight had noticed the man in the gray jacket before I did.